How's it going, everybody? I am Dan Lamar, CFP professional with United Wealth Management, coming back at you with another video about Medicare and medical insurance planning for retirement, for United pilots in retirement. My last video was about Medicare basics, what United pilots need to know about Medicare basics, and this is a continuation of that series, and we're transitioning from Medicare to what we need to know about United Retiree Medical. Now, remember, a couple weeks ago, I was working with a client who was really concerned about this transition from before Medicare medical, from our regular active pilots medical insurance, and transitioning onto Medicare and United Retiree Medical. How that transition works, avoiding enrollment penalties and all that other stuff. Other than that, he was doing great for retirement. He's very financially prepared. He's been saving great, investing great. A great withdrawal plan, but this is kind of the area of apprehension for him. He's just a little bit nervous about this transition. So that's kind of what prompted me to do this video series. This is a continuation of that, which is about United Medical Insurance in retirement. Hey, before we get going, remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified when new videos come out. And again, on this one, just like I did on the last one, I've got some a really helpful checklist that kind of help you navigate the combination of Medicare and United Retiree Medical. Really, who's covered when, because there's some options on retiring before age 65, at age 65, older spouse, younger spouse. So some of that can get confusing. So I've got a real good checklist down there. Go down there on the link in YouTube, in the show notes in YouTube, and click on that, and you'll be able to download that checklist to help you out here. And then also the slides to this will be down there also. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. Hey, for the latest and greatest information on this stuff, remember there's a document out there called the Summary Plan Description, and that has got the latest and greatest details as to how the plan actually works and stuff like that. So so I always encourage everybody to, hey, download that thing. It's on the YBR website. It's called a Summary Plan Description. There's a SPD about all of our benefits, whether it be the PRAP or the RHA, all that stuff. And so I encourage you to take a look at that for the latest stuff. And then also the R&I retirement seminars are awesome as far as explaining this stuff. And they probably get into a little bit more detail. And I would say they probably have a little higher expertise than what I do as far as the specifics of the plan. So we're covering a guide's eye view of United Retiree Medical here. So there's really kind of two time frames we can kind of divide the United Medical Plan into. So if you're retiring before age 65, and if you're retiring at age 65. And simply they're called, just like it sounds, it's the before Medicare medical plan if you're retiring before 65. And if you're retiring at 65, it's called the after Medicare medical plan. So if you're retiring before age 65, the options are all the same. All the same insurance options as you have as an active pilot. And then if you're retiring in the after Medicare medical plan, then you've got Medicare, of course, which I talked about in the last video, and then you've also got the United Retiree Medical. So the combination of both of those two is the complete plan. As far as being eligible for either one of these plans, you have to be 50 or older. You have to have 10 or more years of service, and obviously have to pay the monthly contributions. So let's talk about the before Medicare medical plan at first. So obviously, this is for pilots retiring before age 65. It covers the pilot up until age 65 and the end of their birth month, unless they're born, unless you or the pilot's born on the first of the month, then it only goes up until the day before that. So that's just something to be a heads up for if you're born, if your birthday is on the first. It's the exact same insurance options as you have as an active pilot. It covers spouse and eligible dependents before they are Medicare eligible. The cost depends on the years of service, and then you can model those costs on YBR. And the R&I or retirement seminars, they do a pretty good job of showing you how to do that. But you can go on to YBR and model your cost. It's going to show you the cost for the current year. So it's not going to be exactly accurate if you're retiring a couple years from now, but you can kind of get some relative ideas what the costs are going to be there. As far as the other stuff goes, here's talking about the cost right there, depending on years of service. If you've got 10 to 20 years of service, you are paying 80% of the cost. So that's the exact opposite while you're active. While you're active, you're paying 20% of the cost. And then 20 to 25 years of service, you're going to pay 60% of the cost. And then 25 or more years of service, you're paying 40% of the cost. And again, that's on the before Medicare medical plan, before you are Medicare eligible. And you can use the retiree health account to pay those monthly costs. So let's talk about the after Medicare medical plan. Again, this is for pilots retiring at age 65. And then it's also for those, if you retire early, it's also for you when you turn 65. This is also what covers older spouses. Now, an older spouse can stay on the United medical plan even after they are Medicare eligible, as long as a pilot is still enrolled in the United medical plan. So it is for spouses when they turn 65, and that is after the pilot is retired also. It supplements Medicare. So Medicare is the primary insurer, and it covers that 20% that Medicare does not. Because remember, Medicare covers only 80% of eligible expenses. So that's the essence of what the after Medicare medical plan takes care of. Again, you have to be Medicare eligible. There's really 4 core plans to choose from. I say that actually there's one core plan to choose from, because I say that the core plan because I believe that's what most United pilots are going on to, and that's the Aetna Medicare Advantage ESA PPO. I think that's what the vast majority of pilots are going on. There is also an international plan, a prescription-only plan, and there are also some HMOs depending on your geographic area where you live. I'm not an expert in the specifics and the differences between all those different plans, but on another slide, I've got actually in the show notes on YouTube, I've got a link to the Aetna Medicare Advantage ESA PPO. Click on that link, it'll take you right there. It'll tell you everything you want to know. Again, as far as the cost of this plan goes, is the pilot pays the full monthly cost of the plan minus a $90 per month subsidy, which United pays. You can use RHA for monthly costs, and then the cost is also for both spouse and pilot. There's the link to the Aetna Medicare Advantage ESA PPO. I'll have that in the show notes on YouTube if you want to click on that and find out the specifics of the plan. And again, that's what I believe most United pilots are going with. ALPA does have some coverage you can consider. I don't know the specifics of those things, and I believe they are fairly new, but it is something to explore if you really wanted to go that option. The one thing about it is that you can't split coverage between ALPA, you being ALPA plan, and a spouse or dependent being United plan. Is that if you want a family member to be covered under a United plan, then the pilot also has to be covered under a United plan. So that's something that's important to keep in mind there. As far as retiree medical costs, active medical plans, again, the pilot pays, or I should say, as we are current active pilots before we retire, we're paying 20% of the anticipated costs. Okay, that's while we're active pilots. So the before Medicare medical plans, again, we're paying 40 to 80% depending on the years of service. And then the after Medicare retiree medical plan, the pilot pays a full cost minus the $90 subsidy. And I'm going to have another video. My next video will be covering more of the specific costs, so we can talk about how we coordinate those costs for planning purposes and how we can use the RHA and other like what Medicare costs and stuff like that will be also. As far as family coverage go, let's talk about this because it can get a little bit confusing. Pilots must be in a UAL medical plan for family members to be covered by a UAL medical plan. Examples of that would be a pilot can't be in the ALPA plan and expect family members to be in the United medical plan. I don't know if you could do this, but a pilot could not be on TRICARE and expect their family member to be on the United medical plan. That doesn't work. I don't know if that is even an option or not, but the essence is you cannot. The pilot has to be in the United medical plan for a family member to be covered. And the same thing applies for when you are retired on the after Medicare plan. You can't choose an outside Medicare Advantage plan and then have your family member covered under the United plan. So the pilot has to be under the United plan for a family member to be covered under the United plan. You can have family members, though, split between before Medicare plan and after Medicare plans. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing. That's where I've got the checklist to kind of help navigate that type of stuff here. And then family members transition to after Medicare when they become eligible for Medicare at age 65. So here's some situations. You might be retiring before age 65 with an older spouse, retiring at age 65 with an older spouse, and so on. So these are some situations listed there. And this is kind of when it gets confusing as to who is covered when and by what. And so this is what I've got the checklist for. This is what you might want to download. Kind of walks you through the different scenarios there and who is covered when and by what situations. I have also got a couple other extra notes on there about the coverage itself. As far as the specific costs go, again, I'm going to talk about that in a later video, so we can talk about it more in the context of planning purposes and overall costs with Medicare, IRMA charges, and all of that stuff. As far as the big picture of the rest of this stuff, again, most pilots are enrolling in the Aetna Medicare Advantage ESA PPO. You also have to sign up for Parts A and B to be able to get onto that plan. That's Medicare Parts A and B. Aetna coordinates the insurance. In that coverage, that insurance includes prescription drugs. So when it comes to enrolling in Medicare, because this plan, if you're going to be in this plan, because this plan has prescription drugs with it, you do not have to also enroll in Part D, which is the Medicare prescription drug plan. That's pretty much it. That's a good overview. I hope that helps kind of explain the big picture of United Retiree Medical. Again, for the latest information, look at the summary plan description, and I highly encourage everybody to watch the RNI seminar, our retirement seminar videos, or just attend one of the seminars when we get that going again. Hey, my next video, again, is about health insurance costs and retirement, looking at Medicare Part B costs, IRMA charges, adding up United Retiree Medical costs, and just looking at all these things for planning purposes and how long the RHA might last. Hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I absolutely appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribing, and also appreciate the positive feedback I may get, and I think I appreciate that very much. Hey, if you've got questions about this stuff, most likely so does somebody else. Shoot me your questions so I can answer them on videos, or we can talk one-on-one. And always keep me in mind if you're looking for a trusted advisor or someone, again, just to ask questions to, and have a informal chat. Keep me in mind. Hey, I'm Dan Lomar, CFP professional with United Wealth Management. Until next time, fly safe.